and encourages you to do what you have to do and what you like, while a mentor is the one who carries you forward and walks along with you.
Okay. Okay. One last, in the last row. Yes, please.
So when you sponsor someone, look for ROI. Mentor will make you to produce that ROI.
Okay. Wow. Very, yes, please.
Yeah. Sponsor is one who sees what you are, and mentor is one who can see what you can be.
Wow. Okay. Wow. My goodness. Did I say that it is such an honor for me to be
debate on this, Kirthiga, one day.
So,
exclusive debate on this probably.
Yeah, I think your next topic is coming up, I think. So how many of you believe that a woman needs both a sponsor and a mentor based on all the discussions that we've had? By show of hands. Thank you. That is it. You know, there is a very startling study that came out that said that women are 54% less likely to have a sponsor. The reason that having a sponsor is very, very important, I think you nailed it and several others said the same. Literally, you know, in simple terms, in layman terms, a sponsor opens the door, a mentor helps you walk through these doors. Sponsors are there in meetings where you cannot be, where they are picking, they are voting for you, they are rooting for you, they know your strengths and they want you to proceed and they want you to do well. Mentors are people that will be with you throughout your journey that you can use as a sounding board, but they're not the ones necessarily they may not have a seat at the table where you may be discussed or you need to be, or your brand needs to be negotiated. So for women, not just for women, in general, when you enter the workplace, you know, studies show that it is so beneficial to have both sponsors and mentors. And women don't actively go look for sponsors. And I'm not sure if it is intentional, but it's just not a natural, you know, and there is more awareness coming. More and more companies are starting to invest in creating those programs where you be a sponsor. You be a sponsor for someone and you try and actively look for sponsors for yourself. It works both ways. And definitely more and more companies are investing in mentoring opportunities. So where I'm going with this is, women are less likely to go look for sponsors, and that hurts them because of the promotion statistic that I talked about. How many women versus men get promoted to management as a result. It definitely hurts them.
What is the nature of a sponsor?
The nature of a sponsor that's a great question, right? So far, the way sponsors work, sponsorship programs work in a company is that leaders are asked to be sponsors for upcoming, real promising individuals in the company. Right? And then what the leader has, and this could be a management leader, it could be a technical leader like an architect. You know, these are people that know your potential and they know you, they know your strengths and they know your skills. And so when they are in a meeting where some projects are discussed, they could say that, you know, this person would be perfect, why don't we give them an opportunity? So that's what sponsors do. So coming back to all this, I mouthed out a lot of statistics and it need not be so grim, you know. Let's be on the positive side. Today is the day where we need to pause and celebrate this incredible journey and the progress that we all have made. Right? You know, more and more companies are waking up to the fact that the company will benefit from investing in this diversity, and therefore more and more companies are hiring, investing in bringing more and more women into the workplace. And so the progress we have made is just tremendous, but have we reached the destination? No, we still have ways to go, but we've got to pause and we've got to look at how far we have come. Slide, please. Okay, my own journey. So coming back to Chennai, every time I fly into Chennai, I have a confession. I had to work hard today to say Chennai because my natural, I always say Madras. I'm not able to, I had to keep practicing today in the car to say Chennai, and I think I've done well so far. And my father keeps correcting me, don't say Madras, but to me when I left India, it was Madras 20 years ago. When I left, it still was Madras, and those are the memories that I hold on to. So every time the plane lands, I have mixed emotions. I have a sense of pride, I have a sense of accomplishment, I have a sense of guilt, I have a sense of fear. Oh my God, what am I going to deal with? How's the traffic going to be this time? I hope I don't fall sick, all that. And at the same time, a sense of anticipation of what is this experience going to be. It's been an incredible journey for me. Like many of you, I come from a family where education is extremely important. My sister and I both have masters. I married my husband, who's from IIT Madras, and his family equally educationally accomplished with great emphasis to education. So we both found each other, and my life started. I joined him in Hong Kong. He lived in Hong Kong when we got married. And I interviewed with IBM at that time, and it was for a database administrator role. And this is when relational database was introduced into the industry. So I remember the interview, and I remember talking to the person who was interviewing me at that time, and his questions were more about, can you do this, and can you give me these Unix commands, and can you give me, write a SQL script, and tell me how would you solve this problem. And as I was answering those questions, I realized that I may have more to offer than just what he was asking me to do or what that job entailed. But I didn't dare ask any question at that point in time because I was afraid that I would not get the job if I would ask these questions. This was a British gentleman interviewing me. And I have to admit that it was the most boring job I've ever had. And I would dread getting up in the morning and getting on that train and going to work because I didn't know what it was, but there was something about that job that did not excite me at all. And anyway, long story short, I sat down with him 3 months later and I said, can I go with some of my counterparts? They seem to be going to different customer sites. And can I go with them? This was IBM Professional Services in Hong Kong, but can I go with them and at least listen to some of these conversations? Because I feel that I may not be a right person to be sitting at a desk 9 to 5. That's not what motivates me. I want to do a little more. Maybe I want to understand what the real customer problems, and I could probably think of some solutions. And I will never forget his comments, never ever forget his comments. And he said, Kirthiga, first of all, we'd like for you to do this because that is the job. Second is this entails a lot of travel and long time on your feet. And some of the guys here, I don't think he was such a good person, don't get me wrong. I don't think he meant it as an insult, but this is the unconscious bias that we all deal with day after day. And he said that this requires a lot of travel and long hours on your feet, and some of these guys are quite agile and they can do it. It's their personality. And what I don't want to do is take you out of this role and put you into something and in having to deal with problems later or customer complaints because there is a very tired engineer that shows up at their doorstep. And I don't know what made him say that, but he did say that. And then the second one that he said is, those require a lot of negotiation. You've got to be firm about IBM's brand, and that requires for you to be tough, and I'm not sure if you can do that. So anyway, long story short, I resigned. 3 months later, I said, I cannot do this job anymore. And I said, Richard, I think I'm going to go do something else, and this is not what I want to do. So I resigned. My husband then got transferred to Indonesia. So we went to Jakarta, and I followed him. And in Jakarta, I don't know if things have changed today, but this is in early 2003. And because of localization, expats' wives, the spouses, cannot work. Only one person in a family who is given the work permit, the spouse cannot work. Because of the localization, because that is viewed as taking jobs away from the locals. And every house needs to have maids and the local domestic help, because this is to promote the economy, and that's how the system works. Trust me, if my sincere request to all of you is, when you're so tired in life, please try and get a job in Jakarta, and my request is just be an expat's spouse, don't be the working person. The pampering and the massages and you wake up in the morning and you pretty much, your hands are pressed by somebody, your feet is pressed by someone, and I wish I had that life today. I had that life at a time, I had no clue what to do with it, and I was so bored. I said, my goodness, I'm surrounded by 5 maids every day, I feel suffocated, I just don't know what to do. I would die for that life today. But anyway, so I couldn't work. And I was just learning the local language, Bahasa Indonesia, beautiful language, very easy to learn, wonderful culture, very, very polite people. So I learned the language, and I just understood how the country works. Beautiful country, did a lot of traveling, had my children, and missed working. I really felt that I wanted to do something, but I just couldn't because of the local laws. Then came 4 years later, came a